Hey, this is DaniElle DeLaite, and I'm on an impossible mission that I've chosen to accept. I'm at an undisclosed location, Palm Springs Air Museum, where we'll be taking to the skies for a behind-the-scenes, in-depth investigation into the crazy, death-defying stunts from Mission Impossible Fallout. Let's begin with the interrogation of stunt team experts Marc Wolf and Wade Eastwood. After seeing Tom hang off the world's tallest building in Dubai, I didn't think the stunts could get any crazier. And then he goes and hangs off the side of a plane, and now in Mission Impossible Fallout, it's just gone to a whole nother level. So how do you keep coming up with these incredible stunts each time that have never been done before?
Well, we have a good writer in McQuarrie, for starters.
Yeah, he comes up with the story, which is important, and the story's got to drive the action. Otherwise, it's action for the sake of action. So, you know, we sit down, I'm involved in the movie very early on, nearly 2 years before the movie starts. Yeah, so we know we get really involved in the action and the story and the connective tissue between each element. We did want to do a helicopter sequence. Tom and I have been flying around in choppers and stuff for a long time on Rogue Nation, and just because of his schedule, to get to racetracks and to get to all these different locations and to do all the training we had for that, we were flying around everywhere in helicopters.
And in Namibia. And
Namibia and the Mummy. And then, you know, we always wanted to do a helicopter sequence. I'm a massive chopper nerd, and, you know, I love flying. And I did my license down in New Zealand, and Tom did Samurai in New Zealand. And we know that country is just a flying country. It's amazing down there for flying in the mountains. So we talked about it, we brainstormed it, and we talked about it with McQuarrie. And then we thought, oh, let's just see if it's possible. And I went down very early on with, got a couple of the pilots that I used to know down there, and we flew around the canyons that I used to hoon down when I was young and stupid. And thought, yeah, maybe we could create something. Then we needed to form the right team. So obviously bringing Marc Wolf in is a legend in the business, and has done just about everything with a helicopter. So brought the right people in and started the training process to make sure Tom could actually safely do it.
Wow, and because we're here at the Palm Springs Air Museum, I do have to talk about that helicopter scene because it's quite incredible.
Yeah.
Marc, what was the most difficult part of that sequence to film? Because, I mean, a lot of people watching the movie, I don't know if they realise that he's actually flying the helicopter.
He is, yeah. And that was the big challenge, was to get him ready for that. Because he had a professional license when he started, so he had a basic skill level, but his experience level, he had a couple of 100 hours in helicopters and maybe 1,000 hours overall in flying. And the pilots he was flying with in New Zealand have 10 times that number. And so we had a very short time, 6 months, to prepare him for that. So we put him through a mountain flying course. I taught him how to do formation flying, where we move around the aircraft precisely, and you get him used to flying in the turbulence of being really close to another aircraft, which robs the aircraft you're flying with from power, because you get into disturbed air, you're not in clean air, and so your blades aren't as efficient and as they would be if you're just flying by yourself. And then we sent him to a racetrack while he was filming the Paris sequences. Every weekend he'd go out around this racetrack, following the confines of the track, chasing Wade in a car, so that he could get used to working at different speeds and control where he went. So
the distance from him to the car. So if I suddenly stopped, he would stop and not go in the back of me, which on the day would be Marc and the other helicopter.
Yeah, because in New Zealand he's in this very narrow canyon, which is about the width of the track, you know. So, but when he's in the canyon, he can't miss the turn.
It's quite amazing that he is flying the helicopter, he's also acting, and he's the pilot. So it kind of is mind-blowing.
And he's operating the camera as well, because these cameras are fixed on the outside, so he's controlling what they see.
Yeah.
And you'd hear things on the radio like, oh guys, I've got a great backlit shot here. If I come around here, I can do this the other way. I can get the sun over here. And he's thinking about this, you know, the cinematic aspect and the beauty of it whilst in character and whilst also flying at his limit, and a lot of the times flying right at his limit.
So how does his strong work ethic affect the other actors on set and the team around him?
Oh, it's contagious for sure. You know, the others want to.
Yeah.
They want to do. You know, they don't want to fail him.
Yeah.
He put so much work in.
Yeah. When we wrapped in New Zealand, they showed a shortcut of some of the stuff we wore, and all the crew were taking aircraft mounts off, and I brought Tom over. There was a guy lying underneath the helicopter and taking a camera off, and I said, Tom, I want you to meet Greg. Greg is one of the unsung heroes of this film. Greg worked 56 days in a row without a day off to get these camera mounts ready, because we had a very short time to prepare it. And you know, Tom's fantastic with that. Greg comes out underneath, Tom puts his arm around him, they do a little selfie, Tom thanks him, you know. That's motivates people. And
yeah, he has this infectious energy, and you know, we work long hours. I mean, I think I did 98 days straight on the film without a break, and then a day off, and then another 40 or 50. So we're all working long hours. The whole crew are at their limit, and like any job, you get to the point where you're just exhausted, you know. And Tom will come in with such an energy spurt that you've completely forgotten those sort of hard days, and it's infectious across the board to the actors like Henry Cavill, Rebecca Ferguson, Simon Pegg, all of them, Sean Harris. They all next minute, you know, Sean's like, I want to do that fight myself.
They raise their game.
They all do, you know, and they're like, I want to come training. I want to do that fight. I don't want to double to cut into that. And then they all would come to us in the stunt area and come to me and say, how can we get to that level?
It's really important for us to have that leadership, if you like, and to aspire to that higher level that he demands.
Well, thank you so much for talking to Hey You Guys.
The case is now closed on this mission, but your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to watch Mission Impossible Fallout out now on Blu-ray, DVD, or digital.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey